Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. It is time for Naturally Inspired Radio. I hope you had a great weekend. Do you have your coffee? Are you ready to go here? Hello, wakey. Are you up? Oh my gosh. I'm up. What a crazy weekend. Got out to get outside in beautiful nature, but clearly you might be able to tell I'm fighting a little something off here. So it was kind of a slow, lazy weekend, but it was a good one, and the sun was out. So much chaos in the news, right? Of course, I think the main topic of the day, well, first of all, was the Super Bowl yesterday. I don't know if that's the first thing I should be mentioning, but like, I didn't even know who was in the Super Bowl. Everything is so different in the country, you know, because I saw this kind of theme online where people were talking about like they don't even care about who's in the Super Bowl or all that stuff. Like your fancy elitist. Because mostly, you know, the regular American has been cut out of the Super Bowl. Like the regular American can watch the Super Bowl on TV, but you ain't attending the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I think our culture's changing in a way that I like, actually. But I think it's changing because before I think we were okay being onlookers of the elites. Like, oh, look at who's in the audience at the Super Bowl, or even recently, with the awards. What was it? Was it the Grammys? I think recently, I didn't watch the Grammys anymore. I haven't for years. I think the culture is shifting where we're like, we're not impressed with you elites anymore. We don't want to watch you from afar anymore. We're over it. We're over it. I don't think everybody's over it. I think there's still a demographic of people that are, engaged in it. But I think a lot of people are over it, really over it. Who exactly are we watching? These elites, right? At the same time, we have troves of Epstein documents being released. I got to look at some more of these emails over the weekend. And yeah, like I've known about this thing for a long time, and more stuff is coming out. Like people are talking about the DC Madam now in relation to Jeffrey Epstein. And that's, of course, an old story. But it's interesting to see that surface, somebody bringing up the DC Madam. We have emails that are just, you can't explain them away. They're so bold, and of course names are redacted, but clearly these people are up to no good. You cannot hide. You cannot hide. And so as more people go through the files, more of these emails are being exposed. Of course, we don't know who is in connection with them. So still, our government is, they're providing coverage for pedophiles. There's no other way to shape it, you guys. Like pedophiles are being protected by our government. And there's a couple people in government that aren't going along, like Thomas Massey. Today, actually, Thomas Massey is supposed to be going and looking at some of these files. He tweeted yesterday, "Tomorrow I will go to DOJ to view the unredacted Epstein files. Which docs should I view? Include EFTA link in reply. I will sort through the replies to this post by number of likes. So instead of making redundant posts, please like replies that contain docs you think are important." And of course, Thomas Massey's being attacked huge right now. Like they're trying to get him primaried. And, just let me read you one of the emails that's in the comments here. "Thank you for a fun night, ... Your littlest girl was a little naughty." Of course, it's to Jeffrey Epstein, and the sender is redacted. So these are the types of emails in these documents. You just can't deny. I know the DOJ is trying to say that there was nobody, he was trafficking all these girls, 1,200 girls. And we know it's beyond girls. I mean, maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe people aren't ready for that, but it's coming. Okay. It's not just girls here. Okay. It's not just girls. This thing is, for most people, unthinkable. Because it was unthinkable to me when I first learned about it, what was going on in these circles of Satan worshiping and, energy harnessing, I guess you could say. I thought, oh my gosh, it's crazy, right? There's just no, can't be. It's just, no, but yeah. Oh, it can. And I think a lot more people are going to see, like, as this unfolds, if people keep pressing, it will come out. And I think a lot of people's minds are not going to be able to take it. And so that will go into another form of cognitive dissonance where people are like, oh, it's just ridiculous. And then you'll have some other people that you're going to be very shocked, and I don't know where it's going to take us culturally. But I do think because of the Epstein files and many other things, we just aren't looking at the elites like we used to, I hate to even call them elites. I do. It's so gross, right? Like, you're better than me because, you found yourself a racket that made you into a billionaire, because that's, basically what it is. So anyway, I don't think as many people were watching the Super Bowl, but I guess they had some really cool ads on the Super Bowl. One being Mike Tyson, who is now openly Maha, which I really liked. So that was cool. But yeah, so lots of things going on, and of course Epstein is still front and center on social media, and I think that's very purposeful. That chaos is still being sowed. What can we actually do about Epstein rather than keep the pressure on and keep asking, for this stuff to be exposed? That's about all we can do, is keep the pressure on. But there's a reason why. There's always chaos being sowed. There's a reason for that. And that's what struck me this weekend as I was kind of preparing for today's show. I thought, we have to bring more awareness about why everybody's so distracted all the time. Purposefully. There's this really constant drip of distraction. And I can't help but point out the reason why we're always distracted is because we are less powerful when we are focused. When we're distracted, we really build these neural pathways in our brain where we start to crave distraction. So then what do? The easiest way to get distracted is to get on your phone, get on the portal. And some of the things I was looking at, getting ready for today's show, I was like, oh, this really makes so much sense. So much sense. I found this clip from the World Economic Forum. This is a real gem, actually. So let's go straight to that before break.
Financial capital, about cash, financial assets, but we know that's not the only value on which our economies depend. We know that every aspect of every part of the economy is fundamentally dependent on nature, as you highlighted. The air that we breathe, the water we drink, the soil, the oceans that we need for the food that we need to consume, the minerals that we need as inputs to technology and to infrastructure. And without these forms of value, these forms of natural capital, we won't have economies. They are the fundamental building blocks of our economies. But the ways, as you said, the ways in which we have grown our economies, our models of economic development, have been incredibly successful for global prosperity. But the unintended consequences of current models of growth are simply not sustainable on a finite planet. The amount of resource that we are drawing into our economies, Earth's resources, and the amount of pollution and waste that we're pumping out, whether that's through greenhouse gas emissions, whether that's sewage into our water, whether it's plastics into the ocean, is beyond the Earth's carrying capacity. And we know that that's leading, as you said, to very significant direct impacts for society, but very significant financial costs for the economy. You can look at that as you have and calculate that at a macro level. But the way that that's showing up as we're breaching these boundaries and breaching these limits and undermining nature is showing up in very practical ways that are showing up for financial risk for institutions. Lack of water is leading to disruption of operations, of supply chains where water is needed as an essential input for manufacturing or power production. The degradation of soil is leading to reduced agricultural yields. The decline of pollinator species is also having an impact on agriculture. So that's leading to direct financial risks for organizations, for businesses, and ultimately for investors. And as you said, ultimately the reason for this is at the moment the way that decisions are made on an everyday level within businesses and financial institutions is because we're looking only at financial data, financial metrics that are not factoring in nature. Nature is treated within the economy as though it's unlimited and predominantly as though it's free. And the risks and harms are simply not costed in financial terms. We can cost them at a macro level. They're not costed into day-to-day decision making. And the result is, as a consequence, we've put all of our economies at fundamental risk. We can't do business on a dead planet. If we're going to protect natural systems, one of the solutions is to bring nature onto the balance sheet, to bring nature into the ways that decisions are made within business, to allocate a value to it and to bring it into accounting and financial mechanisms.
Oh, this is just, this is it. This is right here. This is everything that I'm always talking about. This is the severing of you from nature. This is what I talk about all the time, how it really is a spiritual battle, because what's happening here is they are synthesizing everything that occurs naturally, and they're recreating it and packaging it and selling it back to you so that we can live through a synthesized world. And these corporations, these elites, they get to become the gatekeepers between us and nature, air, water, food, earth. Stay tuned. I'll tell you what I mean. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
You can follow us on Odyssey. Head to Odyssey. Check out all the different stuff they have on there. You need to follow us at Tammy Cuthbert Garcia on Odyssey and share it with a friend. Comment. If you know somebody that wants to connect to real solutions for health, this is the show for them. So share it with somebody you know today at Tammy Cuthbert Garcia on Odyssey. We appreciate you supporting the show. So severing people from nature, why is this such a big deal? And you see the pattern everywhere. I do. I've been seeing it for a long time. It's like, why are we using petrochemicals to heal when we have, or to give the illusion that they heal, when we have herbs and plants and minerals and all of these things? We use these other petrochemicals because way back in the early 1900s, this became the gold standard of medicine. Petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals, the Rockefeller model. But it is a synthetic version of things that occur naturally in nature. Okay? It like I said, it goes back to like a spiritual war. That's what it feels like to so many people. So many people say that, right? Like it feels like we're in a spiritual war. Yeah. Let it be known that you are fighting for your connection to life, to real life on this planet. That's what the dark forces are trying to do. They're trying to sever you from nature and ultimately sever you from God. And I know it's Monday morning and this is a heavy philosophical topic, but man, I can't be quiet about this anymore. I feel it. It's a pattern. It's repeated over and over and over again. And as I was looking through Epstein's stuff, I happened to notice some key words in a lot of these files. And I'm like, man, they know how to harness power. You know, they really know how to harness power. And I think the mistake here, and listen, I am not a spiritual guider of any, I don't study scripture. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a rabbi. I'm not offering you spiritual advice here. I'm just trying to express how I see it. And it's obvious to me that the effort here is to disconnect you from God. It is to disconnect you from the reminders of God. And this woman here in this clip is telling you directly, we have to put a price on nature. It can't be free. We have to put a price tag on it. And it's like, I don't, it feels like fake world everywhere you go. If you know, if you're like me and what I'm talking about here resonates with you, it feels like fake world everywhere you go. It's like someone's holding up a TV screen of the Grand Canyon and saying, this is the Grand Canyon right here on this screen. You know what I mean? Like, this is the Grand Canyon. Isn't it beautiful? Here, put these goggles on. You can go through the Grand Canyon. It's so beautiful, right? That's the Grand Canyon. And for many people, I feel like their consciousness has already been captured. And they're like, oh yeah, look at the Grand Canyon. This is awesome. Oh my gosh, feels like I can touch it, right? But for people who are still connected to reality and to nature, we're like, yeah, that's a picture of the Grand Canyon. We've been to the Grand Canyon. Like, it's beautiful. It's vast. Like, it's incredible. You should go and look at it. Well, I don't need to go. I've seen it. Like, it's right here. This is the Grand Canyon. And we're like, okay. You know, like, you're not really getting it. But it's such a bizarre world. It's like these people whose consciousness are captured, they don't even care if they ever go to the Grand Canyon. If they go, it's just to take a picture in front of the Grand Canyon to post, to signal that they did something like that. It's not even about, like, they're not living in the moment. They're living through the virtual. And this is why I talk about it all the time. The blurring of virtual and reality is getting to the point now where reality is almost unacceptable because the virtual is the only thing that seems to matter. And everybody, everybody, I think over the age of, 35, maybe, I guess, we've noticed that this system isn't merit-based anymore, right? You can kind of pay to play, to do whatever you want. I mean, getting into college, people pay for that. Like, it doesn't feel like it used to, where you really had to work your tail off to get into somewhere or do something special or extraordinary. Now it's like money talks, man. You can get in anywhere, pretty much. And so we've let go of a merit-based society. And then we have this whole fake thing where it's like, I don't know. It's hard even, like, now they want to put a value. This particular clip from the World Economic Forum really, I'm like, she's pushing it right there. This is what all the climate cult is about. It is to put a gate between you and nature. And yes, it's an ad campaign. Like I always say, climate change is an ad campaign, Trump says that too, right? Like it's all BS. That's because that side of the camp is heavily invested in it. But there's another agenda behind it as well. It does two things. Not only does it make them a lot of money because they're all invested in the solutions for climate change, but it puts a gate in front of natural resources. It puts a physical gate. And we saw that during COVID. COVID was the first time I ever heard of booking an appointment to go on a hike. They wanted to know who was going to be on the trail, when they were going to be on the trail. Like this stuff all started during COVID. That's how we know that really COVID was a way for the Great Reset. This reset that was going to give a lot more control over to the establishment, to the elites. And now where more people know, I mean, you and I, we probably knew this long ago, but more people in the mainstream now understand that these elites practice energy harnessing and pedophilia. And why do they do that? This is the next step, right? I think a lot of people, they think, oh, well, this is just like a perv, right? This is just like a pervy guy who is like, with women or whatever. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. If this thing is permitted to be cracked open, people are going to understand the spiritual component. They're going to understand energy. They're going to understand this is a cult in the true sense of the word, like it's a cult. They have rituals. They harness power. And I think one of the worst things that has happened is that religion on the good side, good church going people who believe in God and they've been led through established organized religion to not believe in the energy harnessing and the evil that exists in the world. To not understand that it can be both dark and light. I think that's really done us a huge disservice because we think spirituality goes this far. What you learn in church, the mainstream religions teach you, right? Oh, don't dabble in anything spiritual, right? You don't say spiritual, say this or say that, very much policing the language between each religion. And if you dare go outside of that, well, then, you're going to get sucked into evilness or something. And the truth is that we all have power within us. And energy doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be dark. And they were talking about this, Egyptians were talking about energy. They were talking about your pineal gland. They were talking about consciousness. And somehow in the modern world that we live in, that stuff has been turned into darkness and don't talk about it. And, oh, that's not of God. That's of the darkness. And I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. In fact, I think we've been tricked into thinking we aren't powerful, into thinking we don't have the ability to use our energy for good. I think that's a somewhat of a purpose of organized religion is to control people into thinking they have no power. I know that's controversial. This is where we have the tough conversations here on Naturally Inspired Radio. Stay tuned. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Welcome back. Join our community. I lead people to real solutions for health. You have way more power than you've ever thought you had. You've been led to believe that you can't heal, that you need someone outside yourself to heal. And that might not be true for you. That might not be true for you. You have a lot more power over your health results than you've been led to believe. And join us in Naturally Inspired Community, and you'll learn more about that. There's so many benefits. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today. And Tuesday night, weekly wellness workshops, health text line, real solutions for health. You can't go wrong. Really, you cannot go wrong at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Okay, so what am I talking about here, right? I want to play this clip for you. One of my, I would say a great teacher is Joe Dispenza. I've read like all of his books. I've been to a lot of his programs and whatnot. And it really, it opened my belief system. It opened my consciousness to my own power quite a bit. So he was on a recent podcast, and I just want to share this with you, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why in a minute. Take a listen.
Discovered when the brain is in a state of coherence, in a state of order, and the person is dialing down the thinking brain, all of a sudden there becomes an entrainment between that invisible field of energy that exists beyond our senses and the person's autonomic nervous system, which is like a tuning fork. And right on the top of the limbic brain, sitting right on top is this little antenna called the pineal gland. And it has these little crystals in it that are very sensitive to electromagnetic frequencies. Dial down the thinking brain, open the door between the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, energy falls back in the limbic brain. Teach a person how to stay relaxed, half asleep, let their body be asleep while they're awake. Tune into energy and frequency, get their brain entrained, get their heart entrained to coherence. Sooner or later, there's a read, there's a match.
And see, I think that all the chaos in the world, right, the constant capture of our consciousness with this news story, that news story, Epstein files, politics, left, right, fight, craziness, chaos, keeps you from that. Keeps me from that. That coherence that he's talking about. Some people call it flow state. Listen, I tell you all the time, like my goal right now is to master my nervous system. Because our nervous system is what keeps us from doing the things we want to do. It limits us. And it's shaped from 0 to 7 years old. From 0 to 7 years old, you start to wire, your nervous system is wired. The way you respond to things, how fast you're thinking. I read something the other day. It's like, at any given time, if you're not truly trying to focus in on what you're doing, 25% of your brain is actually taking in data and having alternate thoughts. So if you're sitting somewhere like in a meeting, you're listening, maybe you're participating 75%, but 25% of your brain is elsewhere. Who's in this room? Is it cold in here? Is it hot in here? Where am I going to go after here? What's this person thinking about me? What's that person thinking about me? We're constantly distracted. Constantly distracted. And so when we can bring the nervous system together and be in this space where we're solely focused on something, that's a whole different level of consciousness. That's a whole different level of consciousness. And the reason why I bring this up is because when I went to do one of Joe Dispenza's workshops one time, he was he was teaching like techniques from Kundalini yoga. Okay, it's not all about yoga. It's just a technique that he teaches in order to kind of build up energy through the nervous system. And I noticed that in the Epstein files, there was a lot of mentions of this practice. And the reason why, you guys, is because these evil people know how to harness energy. And we right away think, oh my gosh, well, that's evil. I don't want to be like them. I don't like Kundalini. That's like anti-God or something. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. You're not practicing Kundalini yoga. You are using a method of breath to focus your energy, to shine light, to connect to God. Because there's so much distraction around, you have to have a practice to be able to silence what's going on in the world around you. More and more people are reporting that they're having a hard time reading these days. They cannot sit still enough to read. They are so distracted, they cannot sit in a hot bath alone with themselves. They are so distracted that they have to occupy their brain all the time. They have these things called float tanks. If you've never been to one, they're incredible. They're awesome because it's dark in there and you're floating in magnesium and it's very soothing. There are people that cannot, they will have a panic attack if they go in there because they're alone by themselves. They're leading us around. Do you get that? They're leading us around through the portal, keeping us distracted and away from discovering our own power, our own connection to God and what we're capable of. This is when I'm talking about the higher faculties. This is what I'm talking about. You've got to get to a space where you can focus and not have that 25% of your brain. This is why people have anxiety. I was just talking about this to my daughter. People have anxiety because that 25% of their brain is concerned about what's coming down. What's the future outcome of this situation that I'm in? What's the future? 25% of your brain is worried, and you can't slow it down. And when your brain gets too much in the future, you have a panic attack or you go into freeze mode because the brain goes, okay, that's enough. That's enough. There's a lion here, even though there isn't a lion here. But in your mind, you've created so much of a panic, of fear, that your body believes it's in danger. So just think about that concept. If you can evoke a response in your body that feels like you are on the verge of death and it's imaginary, think about the opposite of that. Think about imagining states of joy Instead of worrying about the negative, think about what is possible in your imagination for the good. Maybe that could heal. Do you think? Maybe if we weren't conditioned to worry about the outcomes of this and that, I got to go here, I got to take this pill, I got to go, maybe the autonomic nervous system would calm enough to get into that spot of coherence that Dispenza was just talking about. Who knows what can happen there? I think other people do know. I think they know. And I think they use it for bad, some people. But I think it can be used for good. Listen to this. Next clip.
Six called it the seat of the soul. But what Manly Hall revealed about your pineal gland will change everything you thought you knew about consciousness. Deep in your brain sits a pine cone-shaped mystery smaller than a rice grain. Manly Palmer Hall, the legendary occult scholar, spent decades decoding what the ancients really knew about this third eye. First, Hall discovered it's your cosmic antenna. He wrote that the pineal secretes a spiritual hormone during deep meditation, what he called the oil of illumination. Ancient priests knew this. They'd fast for days to activate it. Second, time doesn't exist here. Hall claimed the pineal operates outside linear time. It's why mystics see future events. The Egyptians depicted it as the Eye of Horus for this exact reason. Third, it crystallizes light. Hall revealed the pineal contains actual crystals, microscopic calcite structures that vibrate with cosmic frequencies. This isn't metaphor. Scientists later confirmed these crystals exist. Fourth, your death rehearsal. Hall taught that every night during REM sleep, your pineal releases the same chemicals present at birth and death. You're literally practicing dimensional travel. Fifth, the philosopher's stone is you. Hall's most radical claim: the pineal transforms your base consciousness into gold, not metaphorically, but through actual alchemical processes in your brain. Hall warned, fluoride calcifies it, artificial light disrupts it, but pure darkness and specific breathing patterns, that's when the real magic begins. Your ancestors knew.
Interesting stuff has always fascinated me. Always fascinated me. And I think that a lot of people get scared talking about this stuff. I think they think it's all on the dark side. And that's fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not here to advise you on your spiritual path. That's not it at all. I'm just here sharing my thoughts about it. Sharing my thoughts about it and, bringing awareness around the fact that our ancient cultures seem to be more tapped into the power within, for good or for bad. I mean, there's always bad, right? There's always darkness. But could it be used for good? Are we more powerful than we've ever been led to believe? And maybe the answers are actually inside us. Stay tuned. Your naturally inspired moment is up next. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448 That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, we meet for a weekly wellness workshop. Last week, I think we talked about teeth and the connections, the meridians that connect to our organs and our overall health in our teeth. Those are the types of topics that we talk about every single week. And you can work with me very easily. You can go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, make one purchase, and that will get you right into the Naturally Inspired community. So one purchase over $50 gets you into the community. And as you connect to real solutions for health, you get to take full advantage of the community. You attend Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. You get my text line on demand. I answer that all day long, Monday through Friday, and sometimes even on the weekends, because you all are very interesting anyway, always bringing me new questions and whatnot. So, it's coaching along with real solutions for health. It's a great model to get yourself on an optimum health path. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com today. If you have any questions about it, you can book an assessment there, or you can text me 720-303-8868. Okay, for today's Naturally Inspired Moment, I want to talk about 5 ways today to increase your consciousness. Because, maybe you're thinking, I'd like to move outside of some of this. I know somebody on my health text line recently was asking about, what's going on with a lot of these big organizations like, religious organizations with evangelical churches, because I had mentioned it several times on the show about the religion business. And I know, it's a touchy subject with people, but I think we got to prepare for some of the things that are going to come out about organized religion, the mega churches. I'm not talking about your little community church that's, full of your community members and stuff. I'm talking about some of these mega churches that really swallow up, a lot of TV stuff, and they really capture the culture of evangelical religion in this country, and others. Huge money-making machines. And I think we're on the verge of discovering that a little bit. Stay tuned as we, learn more about organizations like TPUSA and whatnot. I think a lot's going to be revealed because there's more to the story there, if you will. So anyway, I think it's healthy to increase your consciousness. And of course, everybody's on their own journey. You should have a private conversation, or a private relationship rather, with God. I believe that everybody should have a private relationship with God. And so I'm not trying to sway people in religion here, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to tell you what to think about religion. I'm just saying that I think there'll be people that will be shocked here very soon about a lot of things and the way things have been corrupted in our country. So anyway, 5 ways to increase your consciousness right now. Number 1, observe before you react. Consciousness grows when you notice your thoughts instead of becoming your thoughts. Pause, breathe, and watch what arises before you respond. This is that 25% chatter I'm talking about, right? We can get very caught up in that chatter and very pulled away from what we're focusing on. So it's okay to pause and take a breath and think, okay, what am I feeling here, right? Before I respond or before I react, what am I feeling here? So observe before you react. Number 2, change the question you're asking. Instead of, why is this happening to me? Because that tends to make us feel victimized. right? When we're like, why is this happening to me? Helpless. I can't do anything about this. Ask, okay, what can I learn out of this? What did I learn out of this? Right? How am I feeling here? Ask better questions because it'll expand your awareness around a situation. Instead of just kind of chalking it up to like, oh yeah, that happens all the time and it's this, and this. So resist judging because out of pattern. Resist judging out of pattern, like, oh, this is what happened because this has happened before or whatever. Just like pause and just be like, let's ask more questions around this. Number 3, get out of autopilot. Gosh, I felt like I was on autopilot last week. So it happens, right? But do one thing each day with full presence. Eat without distraction. I think a lot of people eat like in front of their phone now. They eat, in front of a screen or, they eat in their car. And that's not fully being present. So walk without your phone. Yesterday we went for a great walk and no phones. And I just felt so much lighter, after we got back from that. And I was like, man, was it the sunshine? Was it the trees? Was it the river? Or was it the fact that I didn't have my head in my phone and I wasn't like, tied to it? Probably all of it, right? Probably all of it. But the idea is just to start focusing because it's a muscle, being focused on something. Giving your undivided attention is a muscle now that we have to kind of reclaim because we're so used to living a distracted lifestyle where we intentionally distract, right? Eating's not enough. Or even, what I heard the other day is that Netflix is actually having to develop scripts and plot lines that mention very obvious things in the dialogue over and over again because people scroll their phones and watch Netflix at the same time. And so they're missing the plot lines. They can't keep up with the story because they're not undivided. Like their attention is scrolling. How much inputs do you, and you wonder why people have anxiety? Like this is why. Input. And this is what I'm concerned about because this constant input and it's distraction and we're losing our consciousness. We're losing our ability to claim consciousness. I think a lot of people are uncomfortable even with that word now. What does it mean? Conscious is like, I call them zombies. There's a lot of unconscious people walking around. And that's a freaky place to be because when you're unconscious, you're not as empathetic. We see people filming crime now or filming assaults instead of interacting and intervening. Align your actions with your values. So awareness sharpens when your daily choices match what you say matters most. Integrity is consciousness in motion. I think just doing a check on this, right? What are my values? Because clearly, I see this all the time. And I'm so glad I didn't have cell phones when I was raising my kids. I really didn't, they weren't like what they are now. So I feel for you. But I often see out in public, right? A child pulling on mom or dad's arm, attention. And the parent is on the phone, just lost in the phone. Unconscious to the child and completely sucked into the phone. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad here as a parent. You're up against hypnosis with this algorithm that sucks you in. And this 24-hour work day, because you are accessible, text, email, and corporate America is competitive. And so if you don't respond, if you aren't on top of things, like there's that threat. But also, what are your belief systems? What are your belief systems? We have to get very clear about what we believe, what we value, what is priority. I think through COVID, I learned that our priorities as a nation were out of whack because so many people, they did things they didn't want to do so that they could make money, travel. They didn't want to fight for anything. I can't do that. It's too much of a headache. It's not convenient, even though they kind of knew it wasn't the right thing to do. It was just too much trouble to do the right thing. Again, like our priorities, right? Because COVID, we now know, like COVID was the kickoff to all of this. More synthesizing of things that are natural for capture and control and surveillance. So it was an important moment in time to do what was right. And we did better than most. Our country did. We did better than most countries. I do believe that. And I think that just goes down to American culture, the grit of American culture I always talk about. I think that's what that came down to. We still had that. We still have that grit of being, defiant and being innovators and being skeptical of government and all of that. I think that's what saved us, is our deep roots in that culture. But do a recheck on your values, making sure that you are consciously living aligned with your values and your beliefs. Number 5, we've got to create stillness daily, because you have to go out of your way to create stillness in your day. Actual silence where there isn't a phone, a TV, noise. Silence isn't empty, it's revealing. Every 5 minutes of stillness allows insight. It allows your intuition to build. It allows clarity to rise. And those are the higher faculties that we need to be working on. So pick a moment where you normally rush or react or, aren't solely focused on what you're doing. Like maybe you're eating and you're scrolling on your phone and you have the TV on. Try to pull back some of those layers and just have awareness with eating your meal, just like once a day or 10 minutes a day. This will do a huge impact on your nervous system, on your consciousness, on your awareness. And you'll be able to connect more to that space I was talking about earlier. That true connection to God, to nature, to everything that's real. Stay tuned. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. If you missed the first hour, you got to go back and listen to it. And hey, listen, I want to just get this off my chest right away. I felt like I was tiptoeing a little bit around religion in the first hour because I don't want to offend anybody. I want the best for you. I want the best for everybody. And I do think everybody has their own path, you know, that they're searching on. And it's not my place to tell anybody about their religion or what they should believe or anything like that. I'm only sharing with you my own journey on trying to be as close as I can to God. So I felt like I was tiptoeing a little bit, and I don't want to tiptoe here. I want to have open conversations about managing getting through this time and space that we're living in. A lot of things are lies, and we all feel it. The stuff that we thought was real is fake. There's a lot of darkness that most of us can't even imagine. So dark, so gross, so horrifying. And I know I was for a lot of years living on the surface and thinking that's I had no idea for long, half my life, more than half my life, that the kind of evil that exists, I couldn't even imagine it. I had no idea. I had no idea. And so I think a lot of us, I hope that resonates with you, that you can feel there's a lot of lies behind religion. There's a lot of lies behind corporations. There's a lot of lies by our so-called establishments, 3-letter agencies that are supposed to be protecting us. There's a lot of lies, corruption, and we weren't promised heaven on earth either. We weren't. And that always kind of pops up in my mind too. It's well, yeah, lady, you weren't promised. You weren't promised heaven on earth. You know who controls this earthly realm. So I just think, we have to explore higher consciousness because we've been lied to about it. And I do think that religion was one of the things, organized religion has been one of the things that has been weaponized to make people think this and not that, wear this, wear that. It's all distraction. It's all distraction. What matters is your heart and how you connect to God. And if you do what's right, that's what matters. But yet we judge, oh, well, they're not this or they're not that, or, oh, well, she talked about that, or that's, nobody knows anything. I'm at the point where I'm yeah, we don't know anything. We don't know why we have a pineal gland. We don't know why our heart beats. We don't know why the sun comes up. Everybody walking around like they know how everything works. We don't. We don't. And we should be comfortable with that because we're still here. And the sun does come up every morning. And we do feel something spiritually. And I think that's my concern, is that as the distraction amps up and the transhumanism stuff starts to unfold even more, people are going to be tempted. They're going to be tempted to take it, to do it, to partake in it, to give over their humanness in exchange for what I think is a lie, maybe even the biggest lie, as these billionaires explore life extension and living forever and controlling life, and could be the biggest play on the devil's part, is to get everybody to think that they don't need to be human, that actually being transhuman or being better than human, that could be the thing. Could be, the thing that is the ultimate. And maybe that's going to lead you into darkness forever, because you'll never die. Who I did not have this on my life plan, by the way. Who had this on their life plan for my golden years, I'm going to be fighting against transhumanism. I didn't, but somehow here we are, and it's all okay. It is all going to be okay. Here's an interesting thought about, well, we're going to transition right into your Americana moment. I'm going to remind you of your American culture. Today I'm talking about pioneering. And I picked this topic today because I think it's possible with the digital revolution and all the advancement into, the digital realm that we're headed into, the race, whatever you want to call it, that perhaps the American people can be the pioneers of how we shape technology in the future. Maybe we don't have to, go into transhumanism and lose true humans, Maybe we don't have to, because America is built on pioneering. So I wanted to talk just a little bit about your history, because these people, they tell you have no culture, you have no history, it's just a bunch of people that came here from somewhere else, and you don't really have any culture. That's what they tell us. And I'm here to tell you that's not true, that America has rich, deep, wonderful, beautiful culture, and it is made up by its citizenry. It's not made up by its government. It's not made up by its establishment. It's made up by all the people. That's really the fabric of any country, right? Is the people that live here. So I want to remind you that pioneering is core to American culture. Number one, America was built by people who left comfort on purpose. From the beginning, America attracted those willing to risk the known for the unknown. Religious dissenters, land seekers, inventors, and dreamers. That willingness to leave certainty behind shaped the national character. Land ownership was tied to freedom. Unlike much of the old world, land in America wasn't reserved for the elites, for the royals, for nobility. Pioneering meant owning land, shaping it yourself, and being able to pass it on, creating independence rather than dependence. Self-reliance wasn't optional. It was survival. On the frontier, there was no system to rescue you. You learned to build, fix, hunt, grow, and adapt, and that forged the American traits of problem-solving, grit, and innovation. And I know today, when you think about it, you're like, because I think about it, I'm like, I live on a little farm, right? Could I fend for myself on this land? No. I don't have near the skill set to do that. But then remind yourself where you came from. You haven't had to do that, but you came from people who did. You came from people who did. And so it looks a lot different today in the modern world. But I think our adversaries want us to give in to this comfort and convenience, and like we can't forge a path for ourselves. But we come from those people who did that. And we shouldn't forget that, because that's in our DNA. And pioneering, it was shaping and passing things on. It was about independence. And we're still independent, which is exactly why we fared the way we did during COVID, when many other people, look at Australia, look at Canada, look at New Zealand, look at these other cultures. I hate to compare, but I know people who were living in those countries, and I know how I lived through COVID, and it was drastically different. That right there is because of the American culture. Innovation came from necessity, not convenience. Many American inventions didn't come from university or elites. They came from people solving real problems in the real world. Problems on farms, trails, workshops, pioneering rewarded ingenuity over credentials. I think we're headed back there. I think everybody's had enough of your college degree. And listen, knowledge is at everybody's fingertips now. Knowledge is at everybody's fingertips now. So maybe that's a different way of pioneering. But I think we have the opportunity to pioneer and actually get back to truth. Because giving over agency to credentials, it hasn't worked out that great. I mean, just think, every time I see another certificate for this or that, I mean, for goodness sakes, like certified closet organizer. That's all those regulations, all those certifications. It's just a way to regulate. Don't forget, you're a pioneer. You don't need a piece of paper necessarily to give you permission to pioneer anything. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Thank you so much to all our new members supporting the show and supporting a community that's looking for real solutions for health and optimum health. These people have made a purchase recently. Tina Thomas, Anne, that's Tina and Thomas, not Tina Thomas, and Anne, Daniel, Roger, Tom, Patty, Carol, Ronald, Lisa, Stacy, Mary, Elmira, Susan, David, Beth, Catherine, Jenna, Peggy, and many others. It's supporters like this that help us stay on the air, that help us create this content, keep creating this content, and connecting people to real solutions for health. It keeps our health community growing, where many people are thriving and connecting to real solutions for health. I have to smile because every day now I'm waking up to a new message on my health text line thanking me for the work, that I helped them. I didn't do anything, actually. We just had conversations. We just had conversations that made people think about their health from a different point of view and take different actions. That's it. That's it. But it's very effective. And it's working for a lot of people. So get in on some of the huge deals that we have on our monthly flip book at naturalinspiredstore.com. When you make a purchase, that automatically gets you into the Naturally Inspired community, right? You make a $50 or more purchase, you get all the coaching, you get an assessment, you get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops, and so much more. Trust me, I'm here to serve, and I think anybody in our community will let you know that that is exactly how it works. So head on over to naturalinspiredstore.com. Take advantage. We got buy one, get one free still. Huge deals in the monthly flip book. All right, let's get to some news because there's some bangers here. Some banger stories. This top one, I couldn't help but bring to you because I just couldn't even believe it. Talk about spin. Let me tell you, this lady is a professional at spin. Whoo, she's good at it. Let's take a listen to this clip from the BBC.
He knew everybody that was very powerful. So like if you were on the scene and you were powerful, like to be honest, like if you're not in those files, it would be an insult because it just means that you were a bit of a loser.
Right. So the people who aren't in the files are losers.
Yes.
Okay. Are you in the files?
Well, of course I am, because it's any journalist that wrote about it.
Yeah. If you're not in the files, you're a loser. This is how, like, this is why I said at the beginning of the show, like, it's kind of good that, you know, people aren't glued to their TV sets anymore to watch the Super Bowl necessarily. They're not idolizing the elites like they used to. Because the more and more we find out, it's like, oh, like, I mean, we have celebrity chefs. Like we have created categories of celebrities where it's like, kind of mind-blowing, right? Like the Kardashians, what do they do? What do the Kardashians do? They sell things. So we've made celebrities out of people who sell brands, sell stuff, sell things. It's out of control, right? It's out of control. We've got influencers, we got this, we've got like all this celebrity, this obsessiveness around celebrity. This lady, yeah, you know, if you weren't in the files, he knew everybody. Yeah, like I said last week, he was the chief deal broker in a lot of cases, so it would seem. He was able to broker a deal for just about everybody, whether you were in medicine, right? Dr. Peter Attia, or whether you were a finance person, a philanthropist like Bill Gates. I mean, he had connections everywhere. I think that's what his specialty was. You know, he tried to get passed off as like a math expert, or, you know, best guy you ever knew in taxes. He was a chief networker. He was a deal broker. He brought people together, sometimes under duress, so it would seem, otherwise known as maybe blackmail or extortion, right? So he was the chief deal broker. That's what he was. But this lady, that's a new one. If you weren't in the files, people, you're a loser. You're a loser because you're not playing on the level of the elites. And, you know, there'll be a lot of people that are in the files that will agree to that. Oh, of course I'm in his files because, you know, you're a loser if you're not in the files. That's PR in a nutshell. That's probably the best spin I have heard as of yet. You know, lots of people putting out apology letters, people like Peter Attia, right? Where it's like, I didn't think this, and I regret listen, you're sending back and like, first of all, grow up. The emails that were exchanged between Peter Attia and Epstein are like, that ain't a man. That's a boy child, you know? Oh yeah, like just, I don't even like classless. That was classless. And to knowing that he's a doctor and has all this influence and is writing books on how to live a good life and whatnot, dirtbag. Like he's just an absolute dirtbag and a fraud. So many more people like that in the files, but apparently if you're not in the files, you're a loser. I don't know. I'm thinking if you're in the files, you're a loser, you know? You talk like a dirtbag. And maybe you were of interest to him because he knew he could convince you or maybe persuade you and get you on his roster because you're a dirtbag. You kind of teach people how to treat you, right? I always say that. You teach people how to treat you. Like, yeah, like once somebody gets to know you a little bit, they're going to know whether they can show you naked pictures or not. Because you're kind of teaching them. Epstein knew he could show naked pictures to Peter Attia. So, sounds like a loser to me. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that one was interesting. Also, you need to be very aware of this one. There is going to be quite a large campaign going. And, how many things can we attach to 2030? How many, like 2030, by 2030, we're going to do this. By 2030, by 2030, by 2030, 2030 seems to be a heck of a year. And there's another one. There is a national agenda of immunization for 2030. Check out Dr. Lee Savio Beers, the AAP president. Listen to this.
Pediatrics. We welcome the launch of Immunization Agenda 2030, a new ambitious strategy for a world where everyone, everywhere, at every age, fully benefits from vaccines. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, close to 20 million children missed out on life-saving vaccines each year. Disruptions from the pandemic have left millions more at risk and widened health inequities. We can recover from these disruptions and achieve even more by ensuring no adult or child is left behind.
Oh, poor Lee. I think Lee's completely lost her consciousness. Imagine being so indoctrinated that you would take on this agenda when everybody is like questioning, they're changing the vaccine schedule. Everybody knows what's up. And this poor woman is going to try to push through an immunization agenda where I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if she is, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was connected to the Clintons' initiative to get every child vaccinated, because so many people have decided to not vaccinate or have missed their wellness checks with their babies because of COVID, because of, I don't know, just like a whole lot of knowledge coming out about immunizations and whatnot. So what will that look like? Well, it'll be interesting because I think we're having a split here in the healthcare realm, where, we have an establishment now, like the new HHS secretary, right? And the CDC, head of the CDC and the head of the NIH, like everybody is on board now with Make America Healthy. So it makes you wonder who is putting money towards Immunization 2030 agenda. They're going to use the foundations and the paid organizations like the American Heart Association or like all these different associations. They're going to have to use those now to push through agendas like this, because they no longer have full capture of our health agencies. They no longer have full capture. And, Bobby Kennedy is working on even claiming back the medical journals, because our medical journals have been captured through pharmaceutical companies and corporations that sponsor and keep those publications running. They have been captured. And so he's even saying, the NIH is not going to publish in there anymore. So what we're going to see is this kind of split away. And the private sector, even NGOs, right, the charity outfits, they're going to be touting the old agenda. So you have to use discernment. Really, you have to use discernment when it comes to your own health choices. Stay tuned. We have more health stories and, of course, your health topic and more. We'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia, and I am so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Follow us on TuneIn. Have you heard of TuneIn? If you haven't, you can get the show there. It's another platform. A lot of great shows on there. Follow us at Naturally Inspired Radio on all kinds of platforms, all kinds of ways to get Naturally Inspired Radio. So you don't have to watch on Rumble necessarily. You don't have to watch, on Facebook. You can go to some of these other platforms as well. And so you can follow us. Tune in. Make sure you share the show with one person. Just search at Naturally Inspired Radio. What else is happening? I'm pleased with Florida. I don't know if you've been paying attention to what's going on in Florida, but it's almost like they're doing their own thing down there, Maha-wise as well. And I think it's good stuff. We've seen Cassie DeSantis, right? Is that right? Cassie DeSantis? Casey DeSantis. That's right. She's been recently exposing different products. So they're taking products right off the shelf. They're having them test, and she's exposing to the people, listen, these ultra processed foods, these candies, we've got to get this stuff cleaned up. And recently, some known organic brands even have come up positive for things like glyphosate. And that's why I'm always telling you, organic isn't necessarily something that can be fully trusted in the same extent as it used to be. Years ago, when something was organic, you could pretty much trust that it had been, made without any chemicals. It had a certain set of regulations, but over the years, those regulations have been whittled down to the point where, certain things can be grown in plastics. Oh, that's organic, it's just been whittled down. And that's my concern with any type of new government regulation. What we really ought to be looking for is transparency. Transparency, meaning, high transparency, not just under an umbrella label. Because let me tell you, lobbyists, they work constantly to whittle down restriction, to whittle down, regulations to the point where the label barely means anything anymore. And a lot of that, we call it greenwashing in the natural health space. It's greenwashing. Ultra-processed foods, whether they're organic or not, they're still ultra-processed foods. And so, anyway, down in Florida, they're bringing a lot of this stuff out and talking about it, which I think is great. And of course, good old Dr. Joe Ladapo's down there, who, thank God for Joe Ladapo during COVID, right? I mean, the only credentialed, in government physician that was stepping out and just saying, hey, this is crazy. I loved it because during COVID, he was posting his workouts and he was like, yeah, that's kind of nuts. And he just was so common sense about things. And so I think he's going to end up doing even bigger things in his career. But anyway, he just held a press conference and I wanted to share that with you. Joe Ladapo down in Florida.
The counter arguments would be that, oh, it's going to be, if we stop using this or if we reduce how much of this we use, the food system's going to collapse. We don't have a choice but to continue using this. Please remember that is complete bollocks, okay? There is an alternative to poisoning people. It is not inevitable, okay? Like, it is possible to grow food in a sustainable way that, that doesn't involve folks congesting stuff that makes them sick. So please, when people say that, just know that it's complete nonsense. That for hundreds of years we managed to feed people on the planet without doing it, and this idea that it's inevitable is just it's just nonsense. So.
Some common sense there from Joe Ladapo. That is one of the chief arguments from people like Bill Gates, who is in the fake food business. Again, the separation from, what occurs naturally in nature, taking food like, we have beef from cows, but Bill Gates wants to do it better in a laboratory with fake meat, also with fake butter, with fake food, all under the guise of the fake agenda of climate change, right? It's that pattern again. And it's always to something fake. It's always making something better, quote, better, synthetically, that is available to us in nature. It's the same pattern over again. But that's what he's pointing out here, that this is the chief argument from these people like Bill Gates and all the other fake food people that are trying to get you to eat bugs and, get you to drink poop water and all the things that they're into. It's just crazy. It only works. This is one of the components of how they continue to farm the way they do. That's not sustainable for our soils or to produce nutrient-dense foods. This is one of the tenets that they're always barking at us, which is, well, there's no other way to farm. There's no other way to farm. We have to have GMO foods. We have to use chemicals. And, it's just not true. It's just not true. Do we have to use some chemicals in some instances? Yes, but we do not have to poison our entire food supply. And we're doing that now. Even bread with an organic label has glyphosate in it. It's like glyphosate is in the tissues or in the urine. It's glyphosate's in the urine of every American now. And Teflon is in the tissues of every American. These are chemicals that have now become part of our biology because of the excess use of them. And of course, we know they're not healthy. They're not contributing to the health of Americans. So we have to do something to work back to a system that is sustainable, that doesn't poison us. Like, we can't keep going on like this, producing food like this centralized, ultra-processed food supply under the lie, this is the only way we can farm. This is the only way we can do it. This is what they say. We have to feed the world. Do we, though? Do you have to feed the world from a centralized food supply that enriches corporations? Or maybe you could focus on decentralizing the food supply, making it healthier, and then teaching other people how to do the same thing. That to me seems like real sustainability. is teaching people how to create their own food, to grow their own food in their own circumstances. Because we definitely have the technology for that. But somehow this old lie keeps coming around like, oh, it's got to be GMO and it's got to be, ultra processed, lots of corn, lots of soy, lots of chemicals. We're not really feeding the world when we are poisoning them with ultra processed foods that are full of these chemicals. And these chemicals have been proven in a court of law to cause disease. There's class action lawsuit against a lot of these chemicals, and yet they're still permitted in the country. They're still being used, even though we know they lead to chronic health conditions and sometimes worse. The consumer will dictate the future of food. We will dictate the future of food with what we're willing to tolerate. And I think the information is out there more than it has ever been, because we have the Maha movement and Maha mums, that are now very concerned about a lot of these things. They're the consumer. And moving forward, as this information becomes more readily available and people hear it on repeat, because it's not going to just take one time, it takes many times, that will force the companies to change. The consumer, that's why I'm like, it's not about more regulation. It's not about more regulation. It's not about more laws. It's not about more labeling. It's about educating the consumer and letting the citizenry shape the culture in the country. Because once people find out that these poisons are in the food, historically, we have seen it destroy brands. Or they have to go on a huge campaign to inform everybody that they've changed and that they don't tolerate this anymore. They changed the ingredients. They've done something different. They have to rebrand, right? To prove to the public that they've gone clean, that they care about what their product is, and they're concerned about health. But only the public drives that change. Only the citizenry of the country drives that change. We're the ones, in America that have put up with a terrible food supply. And the proof is in our health, with 76% of Americans walking around with a chronic disease, and a third of our youth population that would never be able to even serve in the military because they're not healthy enough. That's what we've been putting up with. But I think it was under the guise that we don't know why. Why are we so sick? Well, we don't know why. It's idiopathic. It's genetic. It's genetic. People are just getting less healthy all the time, right? No. There's some contributing factors. Diet is very high on the list. Very high on the list. The fact that we are feeding ultra processed foods to our kids, and we have skyrocketing cases of diabetes. It's not an accident. It's not an accident. We'll be right back with today's health topic, which is about lifestyle. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that nearly 70% of Americans struggle with their health every single day? That's why we are reaching out to health professionals and to anyone who simply has a heart for helping people. Right now, there's an opportunity to make a real difference in people's lives while building a flexible income stream for yourself. Whether you're already working in health, wellness, or just passionate about seeing people thrive, we want to connect with you and introduce you to our system. Together, we can provide real solutions that empower people to take control of their health and create lasting impact. If you've been looking for a way to combine purpose with income, this is it. Visit simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. That's simplehealthincome.com or text 720-764-7448. We look forward to working with you.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. If you are ready to change your health results, you're looking for optimum health, you're not quite sure how to get there, schedule a free assessment with me at naturallyinspiredstore.com. Schedule assessment. We'll sit down together. We'll have one of these conversations. And I guarantee you, after our conversation, you're going to have a different outlook. Going to have a different outlook on how to achieve your optimum health. So schedule your free assessment today at naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have any questions about this, you can text me 720-303-8868. That's 720-303-8868. All right, let's get to your health topic, because one of the number one things people are concerned about when they're making changes about health is that they have to do things they don't like. They right away think getting healthy means pain, it means suffering, it means deprivation. And I'm telling you, you got to change your perspective on that, because a real healthy lifestyle, first of all, it's got to be the one that you will do. You cannot curate a lifestyle for someone else and say, hey, just do this. Just do this. No, it won't stick. You won't be able to do it because it has to be on your terms. It's your life. It's your life. So you are the person most qualified to curate a lifestyle that brings you optimum health. I'm just here to walk alongside you and direct you to things that help make more informed decisions. So here are 7 ways to build a healthy lifestyle you actually love. Okay? Not from deprivation, not from, oh gosh, I hate doing this or I hate doing that, but from a place where you have respect for your body and you have respect for its power. And so it's something you want to do and that you enjoy doing. Number 1, design for enjoyment, not punishment. If there's an exercise that you hate doing, why are you forcing yourself to do it? You know, there are so many different things that you can do for movement. You need not put yourself through punishment to be healthy. If it feels like a constant restriction, it won't last. So choose foods and movement that you look forward to and rhythms that fit into your life, not someone else's protocol. Right? Like one of the variables we talk about a lot is eating in a feasting window. So that helps with insulin resistance. That helps with metabolic health. But you've got to pick that time. It's got to fit your lifestyle, right? So I always recommend 16 hours of fasting and an 8-hour eating window. But you've got to curate that. Like you've got to figure out when that works for you. So it's something that that rhythm has to fit your life. It can't be mine. It can't be your sister's. It can't be what someone else is doing. It's got to be right for you. Number 2, build identity-based habits. So stop chasing outcomes and start living from your identity. Like, I'm someone who cares for my body. That creates better decisions than I'm trying to eat right. I'm trying to be healthy. I'm trying. No, I am that. I am someone who cares for my body and respects my body. So I make decisions based on that. So build identity-based habits. Make health convenient. Your environment shapes your behavior. So stock up on things that support you, right? I have all kinds of people in the naturally inspired community. I have people that are brand new to health. You know, they've been eating McDonald's, fast food, drinking pop, like, you know, all of it, doing all the things that, you know, don't necessarily contribute to health. And so it's difficult to get somebody like that to want to eat broccoli and lots of steak and, you know, just that, right? That's a drastic change. And so I have solutions for everybody along their path, right? So getting a different drink, you know, one that has collagen in it, say, instead of somebody, you know, who doesn't like taking pills for vitamins. Well, we have gummies for those people. We have liquids. Like, I'm trying to meet everybody where they're at, because the best solution for you is the one that you will actually do, right? And that's certainly a better solution than, you know, I call them like vitamin snobs, right? Where they're like looking at the whole thing and they're it's like, and that's great. I have those too. Like, that's wonderful. But you got to meet people where they're at. And that's a wonderful thing about Naturally Inspired, is we meet people where they are at. That is for sure. So make health convenient. So, you know, do the you know, the drink or the gummy, if that's the thing that you're going to take. Move in ways that feels natural. Health isn't only gym culture. Oh my gosh. That is something I wish more people understood, is that your body doesn't know if you're walking on a treadmill in a gym or if you are walking from the absolute furthest place at the grocery store parking lot. Your body doesn't know the difference if you have on the cutest, latest workout outfit or the latest, greatest Nikes. Your body doesn't know if it doesn't care if you're doing 40 squats in a gym or if you're doing 40 squats while you're waiting for your coffee to brew. It's all the same to your body, right? So getting out of that thinking that health is only, you know, movement only comes at the gym. So walking, lifting, gardening, dancing, stretching, movement should feel like life, not a chore. Okay, so pick something you like. Pick something that's fun. Eat to feel energized, not just controlled. Notice how food makes you feel. Right? Does it give you a clear mind? Is it calming or does it create stress in your body? Does it make you feel strong? Is it satisfying? This is a big thing where that deprivation cycle comes into play because of diet culture, like eating a salad with a little bit of chicken. And, you know, that's the old thinking that that's healthy. And you've got to take care of the satiety response when you're eating. You have to feel satisfied after you eat. If you eat and you still feel hungry, then that's not going to do it. You're not going to be able to override that hunger, that ghrelin, that hormone that triggers you to eat. So it's very important to make sure that you're kind of meeting all of those needs in the body. Protect your nervous system. So sleep, right? If you're not sleeping properly, we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to understand that not sleeping is a signal that you've got something going on hormonally. Okay? So sleep, protect your nervous system, sunlight, stillness. Boundaries are health practices, right? So again, we talked about this a lot today. The stillness, right? The dark side seems to know that they need stillness, that they need to harness energy. It's high time that the good side understands that we need stillness, that we do have positive light and energy to share. But you can't tap into that if you're constantly living in chaos with input. You have to be able to focus and kind of shut out that distraction. Very, very important. A regulated nervous system makes every other habit easier to maintain. Align health with purpose. The strongest motivation isn't appearance. It shouldn't be. It's function. It's function and calling, right? Can I do the things that I want to do? Can I do the things that make me feel purposeful? Am I tapping out of doing certain activities because I just don't have the energy for it anymore? If that's the case, then it's time to make a choice. Time to make a choice to get on the path to optimum health. When health supports your mission, it supports your family, it supports the service that you do every day. That's when it becomes even more meaningful. And this push-pull type of I've got to feeling like I have to do this, or, I'm suffering to be healthy. That goes away. That goes away. That feeling of like, this is a burden. It isn't. It's a privilege because you're aligned. You have to align your health with your purpose. And that's why I say you have to be the one. You have to be the one that curates this lifestyle. A healthy lifestyle isn't built through perfection. It's built through alignment. And when health feels like freedom instead of force, consistency becomes effortless. And that's why I always say, no willpower required. Because when you're making decisions for the betterment of your health and you start getting results, you feel more energy, you feel more clarity, you don't want to go back. It's about getting those results, as fast as we can so that we can get you to the point where you see light, right? You're like, oh, because so many people, they feel like I've been here so long, I'm stuck here forever. But some simple changes, really simple changes can start the fire into different habits that create different results. So, if you're thinking, well, I have to take this mitt full of pills and, vitamins, or I don't like taking pills. I don't like doing this. I don't like doing that. Connect to the products that work for you. I have a multitasker bundle that's available at Naturally Inspired Store. It's the Up and Glowing drink that is delicious. It has collagen and biotin, vitamin C, hyaluronic acid. That's for your skin. Also for your gut. Very important for your gut. Hyaluronic acid and any, the mucosa around your gut, and it hydrates that fascia as well. So that is a wonderful thing. Also, it protects from free radicals. The Good Gut and Go. This is a great way to take a probiotic. If you don't like taking a bunch of pills, this is a great way to take it. You just open it up and put it on your tongue, and it tastes like raspberry. It's a prebiotic and probiotic in one. You can also put that in water and take it as a drink. Lots of people do that too. Rest and Rewind, that has the 5-HTP in it. That can help reset your sleeping patterns. Lemon balm, a nice drink that you can have at night. Point being, build a lifestyle you love. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio. See you tomorrow.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites. and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.